Hello, I work in the English department at LaSalle College, and I thought it would be useful to share my experience with AI and evaluations. I don't assume to have all the answers, but I hope there's something here to help you. In my experience, an AI-generated essay might invent scenarios and characters and even direct quotations that do not appear in the text under analysis, might avoid tackling any specific details from quotations or the text overall, might include flawless writing with advanced vocabulary and poetic touches. Let's take a look at each of these points one at a time. First, when constructing a literary essay based on a story or other kind of text, AI will often invent scenarios and characters and even direct quotations that do not appear in the original. The result is an essay that confidently analyzes a story that does not exist. This seems especially true for texts that are not well known or in the public domain. For example, ChatGPT is less likely to make a mistake when pulling a quotation from Shakespeare, whose work is in the public domain, than Alice Munro, whose work cannot be found as easily online. Let's move on to our second point. In an AI-generated essay, general statements about the themes in a story and major plot points might be correct, but specific details are lacking. In other words, the big picture is good, but when it comes to looking at the small details, the essay loses all credibility. Here's the kind of thing you would see. Steve's conversation with Mark. You'll notice there's mention of two characters. Then there's a quotation. And finally, an analysis. Now, the analysis seems quite strong. We're tackling psychological struggles, power dynamics that are both internal and external. It's the kind of language you sometimes get in college essays, and when you do, it often signals a strong understanding of the text, so it's a good thing. But notice how, besides the quotation, the analysis lacks any specificity. In this paragraph, in contrast, the analysis directly refers to parts of the quotation. We have the fact that Steve says the quote, Steve's difficulty remembering the past events. There's even reference to the repetition of certain words from the quotation. Compare this to the previous paragraph, if you like. Keep in mind, as mentioned before, that AI frequently invents quotations, and this is the hardest proof that AI has been involved in writing the essay. And here's our third point. AI-generated essays contain flawless writing and advanced vocabulary, but these features can't be used as proof in themselves that the essay is AI-generated. Still, it might alert you to the possibility. In the following paragraph, I've highlighted some phrases you don't typically find in college essays. Phrases like moral and psychological disintegration. You're more likely to see a phrase like psychological breakdown, and definitely not that pairing of moral and disintegration. Illegitimately breeds, seizing power illegitimately breeds its own destruction. That phrase rather than something more simple like leads to. And this sentence, which combines a main clause with a relative clause and then an appositive phrase, which is rarely pulled off correctly, and then the word cryptic instead of mysterious or something more basic. So just to summarize, an AI-generated essay will invent scenarios, characters, even quotations. It'll avoid any specific details, and it will include flawless writing. The last thing I'll say is that AI is being incorporated at all levels on the internet. If a student performs a simple Google search, they will encounter AI-generated material, so you need to clearly communicate with your students what is acceptable and what isn't, and warn them about avoiding an unintentional use of AI. Thanks for listening. I hope this helps, and good luck with your evaluations.